Hi, welcome to SRS Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. We are talking right now with Brent from BetDSI. This is the Into the Weekend with BetDSI show. Of course, we're going to cover the second week of bowl games right now. The games from between Friday the 23rd, Saturday the 24th and Friday the 30th. And of course, Brent told us last week that the Sharps were on all over San Diego State, and the line moved against them. And obviously, they were very, very correct. So I guess we should listen close here to what you have to say, right, Brent?
Well, that was. I think we had like 5 plays on the call last week for college football, and last I checked, all 5 won. So yeah, you might want to pay a little attention to what we talk about here.
All right. Well, for the upcoming bowls, you've told us so far that you took sharp action on Baylor Boise under 68, Pitt minus 4.5, West Virginia plus 3.5, Kansas State Texas A&M under 58, Air Force minus 12, and Michigan Florida State under 57.5. So I guess let's start with the FSU Michigan game. Obviously, it's a huge game. Did you get more action on the sharp action on the under? Any sharp action back on the over, and any notable action on the side?
Yeah, it's the side is kind of the more interesting thing of this, in that I do have what I'm going to call really respectable money on Michigan at the -6, but I've got like a clear sharp bet the other way on Florida State. So it's a tough one in terms of saying, tipping the side and stuff right now. Like I said, they laid the 6 on Michigan, and the sharp guy, who is a list guy, who took Florida State, took them +7 -110. So now we're 7 -120. So it's kind of like, you can't get the same number as either of those guys. So who's the sharper one? I mean, if you can get a good bite at 7 laying 15 instead of the 110, I'd say there's still some value there for sure. Looking at my actual wager count on this game as well, I do have more wagers on Michigan. If that kind of, there's some people who just like to go against the public no matter what it is. So I do have a count favoring Michigan. Not quite 2-1, but pretty much close to that. So the public does seem to be favoring Michigan. That's why we're still sitting on the 7, despite the sharp play that we did take. And my money on the straights and stuff does favor Florida State because of the sharp bets. But when I factor in teasers and parlays and all that kind of stuff, it actually tips the scale over to Michigan. So a lot of public on Michigan, that's for sure. I'm not sure if we talked about the total previously on this one. I do have sharp action on the under this one. Now, it was under 57. Now we're all the way down to 52.5. So that's quite a drop there.
All right, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, if there's just some respectable guy going up against a clear list guy, that's no contest. The list guys are the list guys. That tells me that Florida State's the side, right?
Yeah, I would say that to it. And like I said, it's always it's never a bad idea, put it that way, to go against the public, and they're definitely on Michigan.
Right. All right, then the next thing I want to ask you about, some people have sort of wondered about it openly. It's South Florida, South Carolina. Obviously, South Florida, an impressive team this year, but South Carolina getting double digits, from the SEC in a bowl game. Some people wondering, should they really be getting that disrespected to South Florida? Did you take any notable sharp action on this game, giving you any insights into that?
Yeah, I was kind of curious that you put this on your list of games that you want to talk about. It's just not your typical game that people say, wow, I'm going to get excited about that one. I don't have any sharp action involved in this one right now. This line had been at 10.5, and I took we took a full limit bet at that, so we're back down to 10. I mean, I know some places like 10 to South Florida 10 -15 or 10 flat. So it was a limit bet that pushed it back down to 10.5. But I don't have sharp action on either side of this, and no real big bets either way on this one. My wager count is dead even because of the bigger bet that we took on South Carolina. I do have more money on South Carolina, but he's not a list guy or anything. I'm just a guy who doesn't mind firing a full limit bet on a game like this. Like I said, the count's dead even on this one on the side. I'm pretty much dead even on the total as well. So there's nothing really nothing to write home about in terms of the action that we took on. Now the total, even though I've got good two-way action on the total, I do have sharp action on that, which came on the under 63. I think we talked about that as well. So under 63 there is sharp. I could see this number dropping even more. Like I said, I do have more public bets on the over, and I've got my money almost dead even as well. But the bigger, sharper bet was on the under 63. But on the side, nothing to write home about. Pretty much dead even on the count, as even as you can get.
All right, thanks for that. No, I don't think you told us about the under on that one yet. So thanks for that info. And then the next thing I want to ask about, big, ranked teams clash, Oklahoma State and Colorado. Obviously, Colorado was a great bet for most of the year, but my partner Mike Brenner and I and a couple of handicappers we do videos with are all kind of like an Oklahoma State here at +3. Can you tell us that you took any sharp action on Oklahoma State to sort of back that opinion up?
I can tell you that you're sharp, Peter.
Yes.
Yeah, I did get sharp action on Oklahoma State, so you're bang on with that one. Now,
there you go.
Sharp is obviously the being sharp is getting the winners. That's what it's all about. Now, getting the number is also highly, helps you a whole ton in terms of what you're getting and the price. Now, the sharp bet that we took on this one on Oklahoma State came at plus 3.5, minus 105. So, look at the line right now. You got Colorado minus 3, minus 0.5. So Oklahoma State is plus 3, minus 15. So you're paying, basically you're jumping in right now, you're paying, it was 10 cents more and a half point on a key number as well. So the Sharps being what they are, got the best price, of course, but plus 3.5, minus 0.5 is where the sharp action came on Oklahoma State. So they're definitely the sharp side. I've got slightly more bets on Colorado as well, which kind of, maybe helps you feel a little better about that as well. So I got more bets on Colorado, sharp money on Oklahoma State there. Just take a look over at the total right now. Under 64 was sharp on this one, and we're sitting at 62 right now. I just want to see what else I've got. I've got just one guy who came in on the under 64. My wager count on the total on this one, almost 5-1 favoring the over. So that's a whole lot of public money on the over this game. But under 64 came from the sharp guys, Peter.
Wow, and a list guy was on Oklahoma State at 3.5, right?
Unless that list guy is you, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Very, very nice to hear. All right, so let's go over some of the other sharp action, if there is any, that you've taken on the Bulls between December 24th and December 30th. Again, so far you've told us that Baylor, Boise under 68, Pitt minus 4.5, West Virginia plus 3.5, Kansas State, Texas A&M under 58, Air Force minus 12, and Michigan, Florida State under 57.5. All took early sharp action, and of course, you've just told us that you took sharp action on the under in Oklahoma State, Colorado, Oklahoma State plus 3.5, and then the South Florida, Carolina under. What else is there of note, Brent?
Well, I'm gonna bring up West Virginia one more time, if you don't mind. I did take sharp action before at the plus 3.5, minus 150. 15 on last week's show. I've taken more sharp action on them as well, and definitely this guy's on this one as well. So that's a second sharp bet on the same side, West Virginia. So you talk about when we did the show last week, the line, the bet had come in at plus 3.5, minus 115. Right now you're sitting at Miami, Florida, minus 2.5, minus 115. So the other sharp bet that came out on West Virginia was plus 3. So now we're off, we've broken the number. So we've gone. Whenever you go from plus 3.5 to plus 3 down to 2.5, you got a couple of sharp guys firing away on that one. So that's the line movement. You look at it, well, it's only a 1 point move, but when you cross over 3 like it's nothing, it is quite significant. So I do have a lot more money right now on West Virginia, almost like 7-1 favoring West Virginia. So I got that's the sharp bets coming. Tipping my chart that way. In terms of actual wager count, number of bets I've taken, also favoring West Virginia. So the public seems to be a little bit behind them as well. I mean, they did have a decent record this year. They were one of those teams who were right up there, and kind of a team you can get behind in terms of their rooting for the underdog, if you will. They've never been that good, and here they are sitting at 10-2 in a big game like this. So West Virginia, a couple of sharps on that one. Like I said, we just touched on the South Florida game. Louisville is another one I want to get down to if I can find Louisville on my chart here. We're sitting here right now. Louisville is plus 3, minus 115, and I took sharp money on Louisville when they were plus 3, minus 0.5. So we're sitting here right now. LSU is still a favorite. They're minus 3, minus 0.5. So they were minus 3, minus 115 when the sharp action came in on Louisville. But plus 3, minus 0.5 is where that sharp action came in. My wager count on this one as well, it's like dead even. It's a really good count for us in terms of the action going both ways. But I do obviously have more money because of the sharp action that did come in on Louisville. And at least on paper, that seems like it's going to be one of the better games on the board. Then the spread kind of reflects that as well. A 3-point spread, LSU and Louisville. It just kind of seems like it could be a good game, an entertaining game. Ohio State and Clemson, I did get action on the under of this one as well. Let me see, under 61.5 is where that sharp action came. So 61.5 sharp action on the under Ohio State Clemson game, and right now we're sitting at 59.5. So that totals into a full 2 points. My actual count in terms of number of bets I've taken, almost 2-1 favoring the over. So no surprise, public going over in a game like this, a big marquee game. So the public is all over that one, but the sharps have tipped their hand with the under 61.5. So that's the big move. Now we moved a full point down to 60.5. Got another full limit bet on the under 60.5, and that's how we got to 59.5. So there was no kind of baby steps going down. We took a max bet from a sharp guy, 61.5, boom, down to 60.5. Another max bet from a respectable guy, betting max limits, so boom, or straight down. Another full 1 point move down there. And Auburn, a late game, I did get sharp action on Auburn as well. Auburn and Oklahoma. That game is on January 2nd. Auburn plus 3 even money was the sharp action there, where the sharp play came in. We're sitting at 3 flat right now, so 3 minus 110 either way. like took in, earlier action. We did take some bigger bets on Auburn when it was like plus 3.5 as well. But a list guy came in here at the +3 even money. In terms of the action on Oklahoma, not a whole lot. I mean, I've started to get dribbles back now that we've gone to 3, but not much back the other way. My dollar volume's almost 3-1 favoring Auburn because of the sharper bets that have come in. But my wager count, almost 3-1 favoring Oklahoma. So this is, our typical sharp public split as of today. I mean, this game's, way in advance on January 2nd, but as of right now, this is like a clear sharp public split in terms of the public all over Oklahoma. Sharp money on Auburn, Peter.
Wow. What a wonderful Christmas present this call has been. Brent from BetDSI, thanks so much. As always, we love you. We love the time that you put in. Thanks so much. And we'll talk to you again next week for the third week of College Bowls.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.